March 16th, 2020. How are you, my friends? We are all stuck somewhere in the world. New reality, new threat. The coronavirus become a pandemic, and people cannot do their life as they used to. This is a reason why I was dedicated so much videos speaking and mentioning March 2020. Seems to be a very important pivotal point to indicate how the consciousness shift markets behavior is about to take us in the next decade. We need to remember the both important archetypes of Capricorn and Aquarius. Capricorn ruled by Saturn, representing the stability in the infrastructure as our bond system, and also government institution and our inner authority when we must to take control and responsibility. Capricorn slash Saturn is ruling the old man, the experienced, and the need for career success, etc. Uranus in mythology was the young boy that Saturn wanted to kill, to eat, is a rebel, representing people, representing equality rights for people, representing the different in our society and the human rights. So, someone wants to control, and Aquarius, ruled by Uranus, wants to liberate and to realize something new. They are chasing each other in a way. So, Saturn is about to enter for the first time in 30 years, actually 29 years, to the sign of Aquarius, meaning that Saturn is about to lose control and enter into a weakness situation. We see all over the world, governments cannot succeed to create a majority and stable governments. All over the world is happening. This is a reason to this. This is a new structure that we are going to. Many years ago, we had all over the world kingdoms and another hierarchy of society. Then we brought to the world democracy and the institution we are respecting today. And according to astrology, this is going to its end, and a new hierarchy and structure is about to appear. We don't know exactly how it will be because it's new. Uranus is speaking about the new. Saturn is the old, and we are all stuck in the old paradigm as our need for safety. But right now we are getting some triggers to go into something new, and I will introduce some of the astrological events that are happening in order to strengthening this process as it's happening, and we cannot avoid. Saturn, the old, and the structure met for the first time in 500 years the planet of Pluto, the transformative, the black hole in a way, the ruler of death, and happened in the middle of January, in January 12, 2020. And we all promoted this event to be a new world order. It happened in 22 degrees of Capricorn. What happened after this? The coronavirus erupted, and now, as today, March 16th, 2020, the regulation around the world, people close the airports, people cannot fly from place to place, and we are facing a new reality and change of our routine. It's so crazy. It seems that right now the governments are trying to control the people through their own tools by separating and controlling the people. Separate and control, this is something very known, and still promoting their cure or their activity to support us all as a community, which is a lie because we are not working as community. It's capitalistic system and it's not equal, and a lot of people below the pyramid are not receiving what they need It's all part of the society. Very interesting to mention also that Saturn, Capricorn ruling society, like high society, and Uranus is speaking humanity, being humble. Okay, so we are going finally in the coming 3 years into the era of Aquarius, into something new, hard to express, but that is invisible because Aquarius is air sign, is the highest air sign and unexpected. I was assuming in such energies that I mentioned many times March 2020 to be overwhelming time and panic involved. We are just in the middle of Pisces energy now, to be optional of earthquake or a war or something that will be overwhelming coming from the outer. Indeed, the coronavirus is whatever alien that is invading us and coming and changing our behavior and changing the way of how we are communicating with each other. In many places, we see that people avoiding now handing shake hands and coming closer, also by rules now and recommendation for health. Let's see how much is going to hold and what is going to shift. Because what astrology is also showing us that this is a time of a paradigm shift. This will happen officially from at the end of the year when Jupiter will meet with Saturn for the first time in 200 years in air sign of Aquarius. This is huge event. Meantime, in this month, March 2020, in the last days of the month, crazy events happening. Pluto and Jupiter are meeting in 24 degrees of Capricorn. Jupiter is speaking about the experience of our life, how we are experiencing life, and how free we could express ourselves. With Pluto, which is a transformation and rebirth, death and rebirth, is about transforming our experience. And in Capricorn, the experience of how we are under structure is not right. We are going to see what will be right for us and how we are going to interact with those reality changes. In November 2019, as Jupiter just entered to Capricorn, I say to members and everybody that Jupiter is right now going into a ghetto. It's going to be limited now, and it's not free as it was before in Sagittarius. And also, I alerted people for the last year to use the creativity and the fire element that we had available to create what is advancing you, to go with your spirit, with your faith, with your belief system far ahead, because it will be much harder to do from the end of November, last November on, and now we are without a fire element, and it's last for for a year, I think, ahead, even a year and a half, I think. Also, Mars, which is the little fire that's giving us a spark even to move, like the starter of the car, is going to be stuck in its own sign of Aries from July to the end of the year. This is showing that it will be very hard to move. We will have desires, but it could create frustration. You are doing in morning in the car, and it's not working, it's not going. Saturn is going to enter this month, these days, to Aquarius. It's weak, and we are start to see the weakening process of governments and still using the old tools to separate and take control on the things. On the same time, we see how the system is not designed to work in those conditions, and we saw the stock market, even crypto, all plunging. It seems that toward the end of June, things will start to improve for around 4 or 5 months, and maybe the coronavirus will be controlled and things will try to use a little bit of normality. But as I told you, Mars, you try to make things working as before, but it's not really going. Venus will enter to Gemini next month, and will spend 2 months in Gemini. We all will learn to communicate in different ways. Venus will stay 2 months because 1 month between middle of May to beginning of June will be retrograde in Gemini. When Venus is retrograde, usually we see major drops in stock market and different financial system, and the values are changing. When it's happening in the sign of Mercury, of Gemini, it's all about changing of value of communication. And maybe during this time that a lot of people cannot work outside and spending more time in home, maybe something new is starting to appear, and maybe people will have more time to learn about new technologies, to learn about using crypto, to learn about interacting with each other in a new way, in a technological way that is ruled by Uranus slash Aquarius. So it will be very interesting. I'm suspecting that into the end of this March, and I spoke about it many times before, that March will bring a bottom to the crypto market. And indeed, by the last weeks, I thought that we finally going to be, for the last 2 3 months maybe, that we finally going to be higher than the low that we saw in November, December. But suddenly, with what happened with the last changes, I updated my price location to probably going even lower, even that we are very close to what already we touched last days, that it fell for a short period of time for 3,800. Very interesting and fascinating move. We are all living now in a very unexpected moment that is a moment of like earthquake, because Uranus is doing aspect with the nodes in 4 degrees. So everything is shaking very much, tsunami waves in all markets, and we see the oil price already broke the rules with 30% move, and since then 10% down, 10% up. It's like crazy. We were craving for such movement during the year, to such volatility, to do money. Barely it moved 1% to in each day. Suddenly we see daily huge waves. It's very unhealthy and very much dangerous to a lot of people. And speak about that, Mercury just finished the retrogression, and tomorrow, as March 16th, 17, is already moving back now direct to Pisces. The mind is confused, is like at least trying to adapt to the changes, but nothing is logic. You could not use your mind now. Now, Pluto and Jupiter are meeting in the last week of this month. This is about, let's do it differently. Jupiter is expansive, expanding everything. But in Capricorn, it's like trying to expand the rock of Saturn. And Pluto is there, like this is a hole, like a vacuum inside of the rock. And this is like a of something like cracking inside of the rock. We still cannot see it, like a fracture in the bone. Yeah, based on crack that was in the structure before it. And we all could feel the fear and what is happening with the worry for health, but also the worry of economy. People cannot open now their business, no flights, people don't know what to do. It's like a brand new reality. And I think that this is just a trigger to give ourselves the momentum to start looking on things and new values from another perspective. If it wouldn't be the coronavirus, according to the planets, it should be something similar but different. That again will stop people, that will provoke them to change the paradigm, and government structure should be changed. I see from November on, once Saturn is entering officially to Aquarius, and together with the meeting of Jupiter, this is going to be a very huge movement of liberalism and anarchism, and totally lose of control of the institution. And also people, their self-authority will adapt into the future one, but rebelling against all what they could not afford themselves or allowing themselves to do. It will be very interesting time. A lot of air element is involved. In May 5th, the North the North Node will move from Cancer to Gemini and will live with us for 1 year and a half. And this is meaning that this is a time of adaptation and learning new ways of communication. We all would need to pass through this. Hopefully it was useful. I would like to share some more information about the coronavirus in a mystical level, but this video should be shorter now, and I see the video starting to slow down somehow. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.